Alright, so this is a video about how to find the inverse and how to graph them, and you can graphically see how an inverse looks. So just to give you an idea, when we graph the inverse, it's going to reflect over this line that goes diagonally through the graph y equals x. So it looks like that. So when we have one graph, it's going to be, each piece is going to be reflected over this diagonal line. Okay, so I'll do f of x in orange here, and so I'll just circle in orange, and I'll do its inverse in blue. Okay, so if you know how to graph rationals, you should know how to do this. So this tells me a horizontal asymptote at -1. Okay. All right. If I solve the denominator, which is where my vertical asymptotes are going to be, it is going to be x equals 2. Right? If I solved it, x equals 2. Okay, and there's a negative in front, so it's actually going to be opposite here. So it's going to look like something like this. Right? And if you wanted to know what that looks like, again, you could do the number line trick for this one, which again would be 2. The function starts off negative, then goes positive. So that's how that one works. All right. So now let's go ahead and graph, or find the inverse and then graph the inverse. Like I said, I'm going to do that in blue. Alright, so switch x and y, which again, if you see my other videos, you know how to do. So I'm just going to switch them right now. So it's 2 over negative y plus 2 minus 1. Okay, when you're solving for a variable, again, it's the inverse of PEMDAS, add 1. So x plus 1 equals 2 over negative y plus 2. Again, if you know my little switcheroo trick, you can go ahead and just switch those two terms. So I have negative y plus 2 equals 2 over x plus 1. Alright, and then we're going to subtract 2, and then I have negative y equals all that. So basically, if I multiply by -1, which applies to everything here, so I'm going to get the inverse, so I believe it's h. Yeah, no, it's f, sorry. So f of -1 of x equals, again, so negative up on top, so -2 x plus 1. And then that actually comes a plus 2 right there. Alright, so if I were to graph this, again, horizontal asymptote of 2, okay. Alright, the denominator, if I solve that, it's going to be x minus 1. Okay, and then that's negative, so it's all below the horizontal asymptote here. Actually, if I'm graphing this correctly, it'd be like this. And this part is like this. So, if you look carefully, if you look at that diagonal line, actually turn the graph sideways a little bit, you can see that they are actually mirror images of each other. And it's pretty cool, right? So, over that line, that's how you graph both of those rational functions there, and that's what the mirror looks like. So that's how you find the inverse of a rational as well as make graphs.